The Survival of the Fittest. This paper was published in UC 0071. Its author was none other than Gihren Zabi, who would go on to become the Supreme Commander of the Principality of Zeon. In it, he espoused the idea that spacenoids, especially the citizens of Zeon, were not only highly capable, but also genetically superior. Furthermore, he goes on to argue that Earth's inhabitants, whom he deems an inferior breed, would inevitably decline, leaving the citizens of Zeon as the fittest to rule the Earth sphere. This supremacist ideology resonated with spacenoids who harbored resentment toward Earth's inhabitants, and they embraced it enthusiastically. This momentum was undeniably a contributing factor in the Principality of Zeon's stunning success, which allowed it to defy the odds following the outbreak of the Zeon War of Independence. After emerging victorious in the Battle of Loom, Gihren entered into negotiations for a ceasefire agreement, aiming to bring a swift resolution to the conflict. The negotiations were held in Antarctica, where the Principality of Zeon demanded nothing short of unconditional surrender. The agreement was signed, and Gihren was convinced of his victory. However, General Johann Ibrahim Revel, who had been taken prisoner, escaped from Side 3 at this critical juncture and broadcast a message to the Earth sphere. The message re-examined the origins of this war, but it also sharply criticized the atrocities committed by the Principality of Zeon. And it ended with the famous words that pushed the Earth Federation forces who had been leaning toward a ceasefire back into continuing the war.
Zeon's forces are depleted.
General Revel saw the inner situation of the Principality of Zeon with his own eyes and realized that they were fighting under extreme conditions. With this statement, the ceasefire agreement between both sides was rendered null and void. The only agreement that was reached was confined to the rules of engagement, which prohibited the use of weapons of mass destruction, including massive weapons, and defined the treatment of prisoners. Moreover, while some have linked General Revel's escape to an internal conflict within the Zabi family attempting to topple Gihren, the truth of the matter remains unclear. Following this, the Zeon forces under Gihren's command launched one Earth landing operation after another until they occupied most of Earth's surface. For a time, the advantage was theirs. However, just as Revel had predicted, the Earth Federation forces eventually regained ground, turning the tide and pushing the theater of war into space. Side 3, also known as Munzo. As it was located above the far side of the moon, it was the most distant space colony cluster from the Earth. At the time, these sealed colonies, which were comprised of over 40 installations, were home to more than 150 million people. One of those colonies was infamously converted into a laser cannon in the final days of the Zeon War of Independence. This national project, which necessitated the forced evacuation of all 3 million colony residents, was conceived by Gihren and carried out with the approval of Gihren Zabi, sovereign of the Principality of Zion. It was a strategic weapon designed to annihilate the Earth Federation forces' main fleet in a single shot. Thus was born the Solar Ray, a 6-kilometer-wide laser cannon.
Under our care and guidance, we, the chosen superior people of Zion, will at last ensure humanity's eternal survival. If this war wears on any further, it poses a threat to mankind itself. Now is the time to teach the incompetent Earth Federation the truth that we, Zion, must rise up for the sake of tomorrow.
The battle that raged around the space fortress Abao Aku effectively marked the end of the Zion Independence War. Having eliminated nearly a third of the Earth Federation force's main fleet, including General Revel, with a single shot from the Solar Ray, Gihren proceeded to commit all his remaining forces to the final phase of the war. The stakes could not have been higher. Thus, to rally his nation to victory, he repeatedly invoked his supremacist ideology. Meanwhile, when questioned by Sovereign Degwin about the post-war order, Gihren offered the following reply.
After the war, we shall keep the population reduced, retaining only the superior race, for the survival of humanity and for the purity of the Earth sphere.
This response revealed both his arrogance and his concealed agenda. The war that Gihren Zabi waged was an efficient means to directly curb the overpopulation, which was the main threat to the natural environment. Thereafter, he would wrest the planet from the hands of the Earth Federation and take the reins of the Earth sphere himself. This, he claimed, was the key to the survival of the species. That is to say, his solution for saving the environment. His war, however, was about to come to an abrupt end.
Don't send out our mobile suits yet. Redirect half the vessels from Field S here. Damned Federation. Quite the display after losing the bulk of your forces.
Special Stages, The Changemakers, Stage 2, Gihren Zabi, The Gambit of Tyrants.
that can stop my army?
You're more foolish than I even thought.
It all came to a head in the middle of the Battle of Abao Aku. Gihren Zabi was betrayed by his own blood, closing the curtain on his story. It did not take long before Abao Aku fell to the relentless assault of the Federation forces, and with it, the Zabi dynasty collapsed. The surviving senators returned the national system from the Principality of Xi'an to the Republic of Xi'an. Then, on January 1st, UC 0080, the Earth Federation and the Republic of Xi'an ratified a peace accord. Finally, the war was over. The toll that this year-long war exacted, however, was steep. The total population of the Earth's sphere had been reduced by more than its half. Side 7, which was still under construction, and Side 3, the homeland of the Republic of Xi'an, were destroyed. So too were Sides 1, 2, 4, and 5. Only the neutral Side 6 escaped the destruction. Earth was no exception. Not only did it suffer catastrophic damage from the colony drops, but countless areas were also in desperate need of aid, particularly regions such as Europe and East Asia, war zones that were left in ruins. Post-war reconstruction was in the hands of the Earth Federation. However, its stewardship ended up sowing the seeds of a new conflict. In fact, the rift between Earth's inhabitants and spacenoids only grew wider. In closing, it is worth considering Gihren Zabi's own appraisal of the politics that shaped the universal century, as expressed to his father Degwin.
What has absolute democracy brought to the Earth Federation? Nothing but more bureaucracy and cronyism, not to mention a populace only good at wasting resources.
To be continued in Part 3, Jamitov Haimem, an extremist ideology.